endureth forever.
His praise endures forever. So a good understanding of fear is when you start following these laws, statutes, commandments, right? When you start growing your beard on your face, right? You start putting fringes on your clothes. You start breaking the Sabbath day, right? You start loving your neighbor as yourself, right? You stop eating these unclean foods that we're about to go into, right? When you start honoring and serving the Lord with all your heart, might, and soul, then you start getting that wisdom and knowledge. And when you get that wisdom and knowledge, you'll come out of this world, right? You'll be like, well, I can't do that. You know, I used to do that. We have to put this old man off daily. It's hard sometimes in America. America tell you can do what you want to do. They got that do without will spirit and that Alistair Crowley spirit, right? Oh, you can do that. Don't worry about that. You want to eat pork? Eat pork. You want to sleep with a man? Sleep with a man, right? They actually promote Saturday shopping, right? Because, you know, most business are Monday through Friday. That's when you have all the yard sales, you know, all the birthday parties and the cookouts. You know, your birthday on Wednesday, you in the world, you wait till Saturday to have that cookout. I mean, that birthday party. So America tells you can do what you want to do. But the fear of the Lord is to start doing these commandments. We'll start reading some of the laws. Go to Leviticus 11 and 7. Right, we're going to read some of the law that, you know, mainly Israel participate in. You know, the northern and southern tribes. That we're going to read some that, because the high holy days is something separate that you really have to, that's more the wine of the scriptures. We really have to sit down and break down the high holy days, and you have to get along amongst learned men who already know mostly how to celebrate these high holy days that the Lord give us. We're just going to break some of the milk portion down of the laws and commandments that we have to follow. You got that, King? Or Leviticus 11 and 7. Read.
We have the book of Leviticus, chapter 11 and verse 7. And the swine.
And the swine, we all know that is the pork, the pig. No pork on your fork. No swine on your mind. Read.
Though he divideth the hoof, and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud.
He don't digest his food properly. You know, that's the only animal that would basically eat anything. You give a pig slop. You give a pig feces that mixed with, you know, old food that been out for months. You know, the pig would eat that. And if you know, leave your hand in there too long, the pig will bite your hand off and start eating your flesh. So this is an unclean animal, has no sweat glands, so it absorbs all that toxin inside his body. And whatever that pig ate, that slop, that feces, it all stays in his body and it absorbs into his meat that you eat. And that's why the slave owners, you know, fed us pig, you know, because they tried to keep us in sin. They knew that the swine was unclean, right? But that's how they keep you in sin. So all you that's eating those sausage biscuits, those pepperoni pieces, those pork chops, those pepperoni sticks, you cannot eat that. To this day, you have to drop that as we speak. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, you have to drop all of that and don't eat that unclean food, because for another reason, that bacon and all this pork, that's a high rate of carcinogens, right? You can get cancer by eating one slice of bacon. I did some research. There was a brother from WFI. He brought a video where just eating one piece of bacon, your chances for getting cancer skyrocket 20%, right? Because this food, the pig, only way they can clean it is through radiation. You don't see that process. Before the bacon hits the packages in the grocery stores, before that pork chop and those ham hocks hit the grocery store, is a cleaning process at the processing plants. And that's when they clean that food with radiation. So not only are you eating unclean foods, now you are at risk of getting cancer from eating all that radiation from the inside the swine and the pig. Read.
Verse 12. No, verse. Where we at?
I think you have 7. I think you were reading 7, 11, and 7.
Okay. Verse 8. I'm sorry. Of their flesh shall you not eat.
Don't eat it.
And their carcass shall you not touch.
This thing is so disgusting. The Lord said you can't even touch it, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of had poison ivy, right? When we was younger, you know, you running through the field or you running by a tree and you touch the poison ivy. Now, the Lord said this pig is so disgusting you shouldn't even touch it, right? So would you pick up poison ivy, right, and eat it? No, you wouldn't eat poison ivy, right? So the Lord said, this pig is so disgusting. Not only shouldn't you touch it, eat it, you shouldn't even touch it, right? Even though it's packaged and processed, you get it out, you shouldn't even touch it, right? Read.
They are unclean to you.
They are unclean to you. And drop down to read 9. This is another one. So we know no pig, no pork on your fork, no swine on your mouth. From this day, Israel, you hear the sounds of our voice. No more pork. No more pork on your fork. Get that swine off your mind. It's going to lead to an early death. You can't digest it. It gets stuck in your intestine tract for months and months. You wondering why you're getting bloated. You wonder why you're getting a thin line. You got urine in your, you got blood in your, when you defecate, when you use the bathroom. That's because it's tearing your stomach line up. All that pork, right? Read 9, jump down to 9.
We have Leviticus chapter 11, verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters.
Now it's going to describe what can you eat that comes out the water and the seas. Because contrary to what belief, we can't eat anything that comes out these waters, just like these other nations. That's why he ain't dealing with these other nations, right? Like the Chinese man, the white man, right? He ain't dealing with these people because he give us specific diet. He give us dietary laws. He give us ceremonial laws. He give us fashion laws, right? And now we're reading some of the dietary laws right now. Read.
Whatsoever have fins and scales in the water, in the seas and in the rivers, they shall ye eat.
So whatever have fins and scales that's in the water, those you can eat. What doesn't have fins and scales, some of the foods, the unclean foods, like what? Shrimp,
catfish,
lobster, crab, shellfish, calamari. All these foods you cannot eat, thus said the Lord, because these food doesn't have fins and scales. Now, the only food that I know that comes out the water that has fins and scales is fish.
Yes.
And fish is great, and that's all we can eat.
Very great.
That comes out of these waters and the rivers. Finish reading that?
It says, and the rivers of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you. Verse 11. They shall be even an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, but ye shall have their carcasses in abomination. Verse 12.
Finish out.
Whatsoever have no fins nor scales in the waters, that shall be an abomination unto you.
So the Lord re-emphasized these things. He used the word abomination, I think, 3 times in 2 verses. So abomination is something wicked, filthy in the eyes of the Lord. So you don't want to eat these unclean foods because they are filthy and abomination, because most of these foods are bottom feeders. The lobster, the crab, the shrimp, bottom feeders, just like the pig, the swine. They eat nothing but the feces of these larger animals, like the whales and the dolphins. And then you have some of the bigger fish that's in the lakes and rivers. So when they use the bathroom, because all animals defecate, they get full, they process just like me and you. We process, they don't have to go to the bathroom, but they just do it in the water. And everything falls to the bottom of the lakes and the rivers and the seas. And then that's what these bottom feeders eat. They're nothing but sea roaches, right? So you don't want to eat nothing that eat doo-doo. I know everybody know that word doo-doo. You don't want to eat nothing that eats doo-doo. That makes what they say, you are what you eat. So if you eat shit, you ain't shit. Part of my language is Israel, so like my language is Israel. But if you eat it, then you must be that, right? You must be that. Go to Numbers 15 and 37. Go bring out some fashion laws now, right? For you men and you women. I'm gonna bring out some fashion laws. So we know there's 15? No pork. Yeah, 15 and 37. Start with 37. Numbers 15 and 37. So we know there's no pork. There is no only thing either come out the rivers and seas got to have fins and scales.
We got the book of Numbers, chapter 15, verse 37. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, verse 38, speak unto the children of Israel.
To the children of Israel. See, this book is all about Israel. Israel is mentioned over 400 or 500 times in the book. Speak to the children of Israel. He ain't speaking to the whole world. He gave us specific dress, how to eat, how to conduct ourselves, how holy days. Israel, Israel, Israel. This whole book is about the children of Israel. If you come through the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we know Jacob's name was changed to Israel in the 35th chapter of Genesis, right? He said, your name is Jacob no longer, your name is Israel, paraphrasing, which means prince of power, prince of the power. So we are a powerful nation through our forefather Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who got the blessing, right? But now we under curses, right? For eating some of these, for doing some, breaking some of the laws that we're reading now, for eating pork and swine. You know, that's how they keep us in sin, right? And we're about to read what the Lord requires of our fasting dress, right? All the brothers now, Brother Aaron, he made these things. He makes what we're about to read. Continue that, and then I just let them know. Continue that.
And bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue. Verse 39, and it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of Yahweh, and do them, that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a horn.
So the fringes remind us when we out on these highways and byways, if you just coming into the truth, you should get you a pair of fringes. You should get you a shirt with fringes. Just look them up. They sell them on SDs. They sell them on online. You can go get the fabric actually at Joann's Fabric or one of your fabric stores in your community, Michael's or something like that. You guys should put your own fringe on. Cause Brother Aaron here, he does a great job with fringes. He fringes a lot of my shirts, right? And the Lord gave him that spirit to do fringes. I mean, it's like A1 quality, right? So the Lord said, put the fringe on, and the fringe is to remind you, but when you're going off, right? If you got a shirt right here, you know, with got the fringes on it, you know, you see the fringes on it with the border blue, you know, one of the shirts, and we all got on fringes on our garments right now, but you can see where you got the fringe with the border blue on it, right? So these what you have to put on all your garments, right? So Israel, you know, we slowly waking up. When you come into this thing, you know, you may, you know, take a little time to get them fringes, but that's the least of the commandment that you can start following day one while you're in this truth. And that's a mighty commandment because you're actually showing your works, right? That's how brothers recognize brothers when we out in the, you know, out in the city, right? We see another brother with fringes on, or we see an aquat with fringes on. True story. That's how me and the Brother Aaron linked up. I was in actually Walmart, and I came across his wife that had the fringes on with the border blue on her dress. And by being a nation of Israel, you know, and I had my fringes on too, I knew automatic that she was a sister. You know, she was a sister, and she was married to a fellow Israelite. So I asked her, you know, what tribe she was from and what's her nationality. And lo and behold, I met her with the Brother Aaron. And to this day, you know, we've been thick and thieves on the righteous side, though. You know, so when your fringes, you can identify your other brothers out in your city and in your state, and then you can link up and start building that bond, building brotherhood, and all in the name of Yahweh Shah. You know, so the fringes are really important. For one, it keeps you from going off, and for two, it shows your work, and other brothers can recognize you as Israelites when you out in the field. You know, when you out in your city, wherever city you dwell in, and when you out walking or shopping, you know, other brothers can recognize you, right, in the field.
Can I bring out one precept that correlates with what you're saying?
Come.
And this precept is going to come from the book of 1 John, chapter 4, and verse 20. And we're going to read through 21. And it reads, if a man say, I love Yahweh, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he hateth not his brother whom he hath seen, who he can, how can he love Yahweh whom he hath not seen? Verse 21, and this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth Yahweh love his brother also.
That's right. So let's just further reiterating, if you love Yahweh, you love your brother, and you keep the commandments. You know, because love is keeping the commandments, according to 1 John 5 and 3. You know, if you love me, keep thy commandments, right? But this we know that we love the Most High, that we keep His commandments, and His commandments are not grievous. Paraphrasing. So you know, no pork. Only thing you eat that come out the waters is gotta have fins and scales. And you know, the children of Israel, we have to put fringes on the border of our garments, right? Give me Leviticus 21 and 5, right? We're going to go over some more laws, get a little milk. If you've been studying and reading other brothers, you see all the brothers, that got their fringes. They pretty much reiterating the same thing. Because Israel, sometimes you have to tell Israel 3 or 4 times because the Lord said we hard-headed, we stiff-necked. So you may be looking at a brother channel and you go to another brother channel and we all reiterating the same things, these laws, statutes, commandments. Leviticus 21 and 5.
We have the book of Leviticus, chapter 21 and verse 5. They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh.
So you can't shave off the hair of your, bald, that Egyptian spirit. Now a lot of brothers like myself, we go natural bald, but then you see there's hair on the side. Brothers like myself, you go that natural forehead baldness, but we don't take a razor like the Egyptian because that is an Egyptian custom. Like the Lord said, we can't do that. And you see all the brothers got beards. You can't mar your beard. Marring your beard is cutting this line here. Wherever it grows up to here, you have to keep that. And sometimes we know it get out of hand. But hey, you just got to deal with it for a while. Eventually it's not going to grow too much. And then you can put a line there. But you can't mar your beard. You can't cut your beard off. You see the brothers got beards. All the brothers of Israel got beards. All our forefathers had beards. King David, King Solomon, Noah, Matthews, Saint Elias, Elijah, Luke, brother Aaron, our priest beard was way down to his garments. A mighty man with the beard. So that's another law, right? And brothers sometimes lose jobs, and brothers lose their wives, and saying you looking like a homeless man now, and but we know we follow the laws of Yahweh Bahashim Hamasham Malak Hawashah, because he said keep the beard. Even so-called, who the word ignorant called Jesus Christ, he had a beard. He had a nice thick beard. He didn't want this so-called white man that the Bible teaches that had a Roman toga on, walking around speaking like Joel Osteen. No, that wasn't the Lord, according to the Bible. The Bible, he's a so-called man with woolly hair, red eyes, right? Skin like, feet like brass or bronze. That's a derivative of brown, as it would burn in the fire. So Yahweh Shah, who the word even called Jesus Christ, probably about looks lighter than my shirt right here. It's a dark, dark man, right? And his voice of many waters. He spoke with that Barry White spirit. That, hey, it ain't no, and you can just come to church and sit in whatever you want to sit. That Joel Osteen spirit, no, that's not the Lord. The Lord is a mighty, mighty man.
And right? I want to bring that precept out for
Come, bring it out.
We have the book of Psalms, chapter 133 and verse 2. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard that went down to the skirts of his garments.
So Aaron's beard, just imagine your beard go all the way down right to your midsection, right to your thigh area, to the skirts of your garments, right at your belt line. I mean, it had to be what? That's like a 2 feet beard right there, 2 foot beard. Hey, that's a mighty, mighty man. Yeah. And that's how you can tell it's a badge of honor to wear your beard, man. That's why Esau, the so-called white man, he wants you to cut your beard here in America. So you can look like you're 12. He call you a boy all day. It's hard to call you a boy when you got a beard on your face, right? Because you're looking like a man, right? And how can you tell the female lion and the male lion in the jungle, right? The male lion has the mane, right? So that's why we are symbolized as mighty lions, the nation of Israel. Right, so that's why we have to keep our beard as men, right? So no cutting your beard, Israel. Tell your boss, whatever, hey, I have to keep my beard is a law, And like me, I used to work security for 20 years. And when, my boss asked me to cut my beard, I told him I wasn't cutting it. And slowly but surely, hey, the Lord just moved me away from that. It's only oppression of my people anyway. Working these security jobs, these law enforcement jobs, it's only a minor suppression of your people. And especially the law enforcement job. That's a super suppression with these overseers, because the overseer was once slave catchers, and then they just conformed to a police department in 1861. So mostly it must be the Edomites, the damn red devils, who in the police departments, right? So no pork, no only thing you eat come out the rivers that have fins and scales. You got to keep your beard, keep your fringes, and now we're going to show you women some of the things that you had to do. Give me that Deuteronomy 22 and 5. Deuteronomy 22 and 5.
We have the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22 and verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are abomination unto Yahweh thy God.
So we know what pertaineth to a man, right? If you go to the bathroom that didn't say men's and women in a public setting, and the picture just had the woman with the skirt and the man with the pants, we know what bathroom the woman would go to. She would go to the one with the dress, right? And men, we would go to the one with the man with the pants. So when the Lord said a woman should not put on a man's garment, it's talking about pants. But the scriptures call them breeches, right? If you can get that out of Leviticus 16 and 4. Leviticus 16 and 4. And you're going to say, he put on this, and it re-emphasizing he, because breeches are what you call breeches nowadays, and breeches are pants. They have a garment that men wear, and the Lord said women should not wear these, which pertain to a man, which we know is pants. Because what if we was teaching, or you seen men out there in the streets, and we had on dresses, right? You probably keep walking. You're like, you guys are kind of, I don't know about that. How you gonna be teaching the word with dresses on? So the Lord said women should not put on what pertains to a man, and that is breeches. We're about to get it out of, you got that?
Mm-hmm. We have the book of Leviticus, chapter 16 and verse 4. He shall put on the holy linen coat.
Read.
And he shall have the linen breeches.
Read.
Upon his flesh, and shall be girded with a linen girdle, and with the linen mitre shall he be attired. These are the holy garments, therefore shall he wash his flesh in water, and so put them on.
So that Moses talking about Leviticus priest, but it said he. That means breeches and pants are for men. Just going back to Deuteronomy 22, where a woman should wear nothing pertaining to a man. So it keeps saying he, right? And we can further get that out of I think it's 1 Timothy 2 and 9. Yeah. 1 Timothy 2 and 9. Right? Because the Lord have a dress code for our women. Like, our women used to be so delicate and tender. I think that's in Deuteronomy 28 and get that first. Get that Deuteronomy 28 and 56. That Deuteronomy 28 and 56. Right? Because a woman didn't wear these garments in the ancient world. This only came about during the 1950s with that I can do what you can do spirit, that Coco Chanel spirit, because you think all about if you think about the old movies, the slave movies, all our women was wearing dresses in the fields. You got that?
Mm-hmm.
Read that.
We have the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set her sole of her foot upon the ground.
So our women in the ancient world didn't even touch the ground. They were so delicate, right? They didn't even touch the ground. We carried our women, in the old days, we carried our women in more like a cargo, but their feet didn't touch the ground. So our women were delicate. That means they had on their dresses and with their fringes on. They didn't wear no pants like the women do these days, showing all, their fronts and they camel toes, whatever thing is to any man that's out in the field. That should be just for your husband. Go back to 1 Timothy. Go to 1 Timothy now. 1 Timothy 2 and 9. So no pants. You women, I know it's hard when you first come to the truth, but you can't wear pants according to the Bible. Read.
We have the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 9. In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
No wear pants.
In modest apparel.
No tights.
In modest apparel.
No, they show all their goods to anybody.
In modest apparel.
So women, you have to dress yourself in modest apparel. Read.
With shamefacedness and sobriety.
That means with following the law, statutes, commandments, and not being a drunkard. It's not a good look for a woman to be drunk, and just all over the place. Read.
Not with braided hair, or gold, or pearls, or costly array.
Now you can wear these things, but don't let these things wear you. Like you put all your might in your braided hair and all your gold, thinking that you need these things, right, to be a woman and to be a woman of Israel. What it's saying is, our women, you could dress up because we have beautiful women in the ancient world, but don't put all your trust in these things, to make you thinking that you're not beautiful. Read.
Verse 10. But which becometh woman professing godliness with good works. Verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence.
Let the woman learn in silence. That's so hard for our women because now you've been taught in America that you don't need a man, right? You can do what you want to do. Now most women are making more money than the men in the household. So what the first thing they say? I don't need you, right? The woman says, I don't need you. You don't pay my bills, right? You don't pay my bills, So America has totally gave that woman that independent spirit. When the Most High said there's order in this thing, there's Yahweh Shah, there's man, woman, and child. But since the 1960s, the mid-1960s, America's slowly been breaking that foundation up at the so-called Latino family, so-called black family, so-called Native American family, where they're taking the man out of the house saying, look, we'll give you some help. We'll give y'all women this help. We'll give you this nice job, but you can't have no man in the house. And that what that have done is start raising these men, and now the men, mostly men, are now feminine men. When you take the man out of the house, the man brings more than an income to the house when he's in the house raising his children. He's not just only providing income, he's providing that stability of how to be a man, how to raise your household, how the children see a godly man treating their mother, and then likewise they will grow up and use the same values and same determination of how to treat their spouse, or how to treat their husband or their wife. Read.
With all subjection. Verse 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man.
And we see that role reversed all the time because now women own the business. She's the manager. She's the assistant manager, right? And she's just, exerting authority over the man. When that's all out of order, because we just said the order is Yahweh Shah, man, woman, and child. So now in America, like I said, America, everything is backwards here in America. So, and the Lord just said he don't no woman should exert authority over a man. But here in America, we know that's just totally been flipped. Yes is no and no is yes in America. Evil is good and good is evil here in America. So we already know that role has been reversed. Only for one reason, because they know the scripture. Best believe the higher elite people, we're not talking about even the president, somebody like Donald Trump. He has no say-so in this thing. You got the elite people. You got the people behind the scenes, what they call the Illuminati. We know which means the lightning one. But we know we are the true Illuminati. We are the lightning one. But you got people like the Brandenburgs, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the DuPonts, the Bushes. These people behind the scene push these laws. And majority of these people don't even live here in America. But they dictate things that goes on in America. Like they dictate the wars. They dictate the financial situation, the outcomes of presidencies. See, these people who are in America pass agendas, right, to further suppress the so-called black man, Latino man, Native American man. Read.
Nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence.
But to be in silence. Right, so you want to learn. The woman needs to learn. She learned from her husband, and she take that and she teach the children, and then other women, other men's wives. They may come over, they may congregate with each other, and then they learn that way. But she never should exert authority over man. Because we just had a class. It was a new sister came to the class this past Shabbat, and the priest had to really tell her because she was a guest for the first time, and with one of the brothers, failed to mention that, that she needed to be silent in the churches. Because 2 or 3 come together in my name, there I am. So we are the church. We come together in the name of Yahweh Shah. And so the priest had to let her know, because I think she made a statement like, do you want me to read? And the woman should be silent in the churches. And then all the mighty men knew this thing, but, slowly the priest corrected her, because if you don't know, like, we're not the type of people, or we're going to get on you or make you feel bad. You know, if you don't know, that means you need to be taught. You know, someone need to tell you, right? So if you don't know these things, as a nation of Israelites, you know, especially the men, we are mighty men. We don't chew up our women. We don't get on our women. We correct our women in righteousness because we love our women and we love the nation